The way every newborn cry felt like a dagger. It felt like God had forgotten me, or I simply wasn't enough to merit His favor.
Welcome back to the Tent of Triumph. If this series has truly touched you, subscribe now and invite a friend. We need you here. This is a safe space for real stories, brave faith, and the kind of hope that holds when everything else feels thin. I'm your host, Ams, and tonight the canvas walls are glowing, the rugs are laid, and the oil lamps are whispering welcome. We've studied Sarah's story from a distance, dates, places, promises, but today we're doing something sacred. We're stepping closer. We're sitting with the woman herself. We're listening for the tremble and the triumph in her voice. This episode is called The Triumph of Infertility. If you're in a waiting season, if your prayers feel older than your strength, if your smile hides a monthly ache, come closer. Pull up a cushion. Breathe. You're not alone here. Before we begin, a gentle note. We'll be speaking about infertility, disappointment, and the long stretch of unanswered prayers. If you need to pause or take this slowly, please do. Come back when your heart is ready. We'll still be here. So if this series has brought even one moment of peace or perspective to your heart, please subscribe right now and invite a friend, because we need every woman in this safe, sacred space. We are continuing our series, The Triumph of Infertility. We've studied the life and history of Sarah, but today, we sit down with the woman herself. Sarah, welcome and thank you for stepping into our tent and choosing to share your heart with the women who are walking your path today.
It's an honor, Ams. The moment I walked into this tent, it reminded me of those solitary nights under the stars in the wilderness, when I carried the crushing weight of a promise that felt impossibly distant. Here, it feels safe to finally share the struggles that I often kept hidden, even from Abraham.
That burden of waiting, I carry it too. Can you describe, in detail, the raw, relentless feeling of hope deferred? What did that void feel like in your heart? And how did you even begin to keep the flame of faith from collapsing completely when the evidence of your life contradicted the promise?
The land was rich, Abraham was blessed, but my arms were empty. The void was a daily, physical pain. It was the constant comparison to other women, the shame of not fulfilling my purpose. The way every newborn cry felt like a dagger. It felt like God had forgotten me, or I simply wasn't enough to merit His favor. Lesson for today's women. Emptiness is not a punishment, but a profound test. It's an altar where you decide who you will trust. Let that deep longing be proof to you that a divine promise exists, because the enemy only fights what God intends to give. Keep praying. Your future is secure in His promise.
Sarah, that hits so deeply. I needed to hear you say that longing is proof. Just last month, after another devastating negative result, I looked around and felt that same shame, like I was a failure in a fertile world. I've mistaken this silence for abandonment, but hearing you reframe the void as an altar where we choose trust, that shifts the entire perspective of this excruciating journey. We cling to that truth. Longing is proof. When the pressure became overwhelming, you convinced Abraham to take Hagar. What was the internal rationalization that allowed you to compromise God's instruction? How did you silence that inner voice that knew you were forcing a miracle? And what was the immediate, emotional fallout of that choice?
It was pure desperation. It was the fear that Abraham and I would die childless, and I needed an heir for his legacy. I tried to use human effort to help God, but I only succeeded in creating generational friction and unending heartache. My heart shattered the moment I saw Ishmael, because I knew he was not the son of promise. I tried to manage God's timing, and I paid for it with years of strife. My detailed lesson: wait, sister. Do not force God's plan onto your calendar, no matter how clever your fix seems. Your human strategy will bring unnecessary, long-term conflict. Trust the promise, not your strategy.
Oh, the pain of the Hagar moments. I have done the exact same thing, Sarah, trying to micromanage appointments, researching unproven remedies, spending money I didn't have, all to speed up God. The internal chaos and the subsequent letdown were far worse than the initial waiting. That reminder, trust the promise, not your strategy, is a vital, hard-won truth that we must carry every single day. You were 90 years old when you heard the promise repeated. You laughed. Was that a moment of bitterness? Or was it a grief so deep it could only manifest as stunned, heartbroken disbelief? What did it feel like when the Lord directly challenged your human limitations with that piercing question?
It was disbelief mixed with a deep, weary sorrow. It was the human mind hitting the boundary of the scientifically, biologically impossible. It was a reflex, a laugh of pain. But God didn't condemn my doubt. He simply pierced it with the ultimate truth, the ultimate reality check. Is anything too hard for the Lord? Genesis 18:14. This scripture became the new North Star, the anchor that superseded my entire reality.
That scripture is the ultimate, non-negotiable truth we need on our mirrors, Sarah. That moment when the creator of the universe looks past your years, your medical history, and your failures, and simply reminds you that he is God. That's the highest reality check for every woman battling doubt. We need that reminder that our impossibility is his opportunity. Knowing your doubt was transparent. How did that experience change the way you prayed and lived? Did you finally understand that God's power would override all the facts of your biological reality, shifting your identity from a barren woman to a woman of promise?
It changed everything. My perspective was finally aligned with his promise, not my pain. Holding Isaac, pure, redeeming joy. Naming him Isaac, he laughs, meant God had turned my lifetime of skepticism into my eternal testimony. My encouragement is this: your deepest pain is the canvas for God's greatest miracle. He will turn your quiet sorrow into your loudest praise. Wait for your Isaac. Your victory is guaranteed by his promise.
Sarah, what a powerful, liberating assurance. He will turn your pain into your loudest song of praise is exactly what I, and every woman waiting, needs to hear. That is the perfect assurance to anchor us through the next day.
My final word to every woman listening is this: do not let your current season define your future. Look up. God keeps his appointments. Be brave, trust him, and stand firm until your promise arrives. Thank you for welcoming me into this tent of sisterhood.
I am in complete awe, sitting here, bridging 3,000 years, asking you about your deepest heartaches, and realizing that my doubt and your doubt are exactly the same. That is truly the miracle of this tent of triumph. Your lesson, that longing is proof, will be the spiritual bedrock I stand on tomorrow. To every woman listening, hold that truth close. Your wait will become your testimony. Do not retreat. Stand firm in the assurance that the God of Sarah is actively working in your life right now. And before you go, sister, join us for our next podcast, where we dive deep into the fascinating, complex life of Rebecca, a woman of bold choices and long waits, who wrestled with 2 nations fighting inside her womb. You do not want to miss the fierce decisions and profound lessons she has for us on faith and finding purpose in the waiting. If this conversation gave you a lifeline, please, dear sister, drop a comment, share, like, and subscribe to anchor yourself in this community. Share, like, and subscribe to anchor yourself in this community. And remember to find hope with our musical partner, Eden Haven, our very own voice of triumph. She does a good job of turning our pain, every woman's pain and testimony, into worship and praise. Also, look out for our new Monday devotional drops for weekly encouragement, and grab our scripture cards to keep God's promises in front of you every single day. Till then, see you on the next episode, where we will be deep diving into the life of Rebecca.
The life we